Oh, hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Timbo Took, and this is A Joy of Painting Middle-earth, a time when we come together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer. Now, before we begin today's painting journey, I just have one small favor to ask of you. If you see that subscribe button down there, if you wouldn't mind, don't boil it or stick it in a stew, just mash it for me. That's what the little hobbits tell me to say. That's right. Anytime you subscribe or like or comment on a video, that lets YouTube know that you think others should be invited along on the adventure, and they'll show it to others and we'll bring more along with us. And speaking of adventure, let's get to today's adventure. So pick up your paints and your brushes and let's go. Alright, welcome. Let's get to this painting today. You see, we have one of our black canvases. That usually means it's going to be a dark and mysterious painting. That's right, those are fun to do. Now, I've already prepared the canvas. I've put a coat of liquid clear down, that magic clear paint. That way we're doing a wet on wet oil painting technique. You see, that's already down on the canvas, and we were taught how to do that by the Blue Wizard. That's right. Bob Ross the Blue. He's the one who taught us how to do that. Now I have that down. We're just going to go into our colors here. This is phthalo blue, sap green, burnt umber, ivory black, cadmium lemon, and of course titanium white. So we'll just grab some of this phthalo blue. That's a dark blue. And we're going to put it on the canvas here. We're just going to spread it down, and you won't be able to see that very much. That's right, you can't see that very much as we put this down. Just bring it right down the canvas. We'll just put it in here. And it doesn't look like we've done much. If you want to start, if you're going to paint for somebody and you want to surprise them, you put that blue down before you even start, and you'll see what happens. Let's wash off this brush, though. And we wash our brushes in odorless paint thinner. That's right, and since we're not outside, we have a rubbish bin. We're just going to beat the Sauron out of the brush. Right down in the rubbish bin. That's right. Knock that off. Now we're going to come up into some of our titanium white. And you'll see what this does when we bring this onto our canvas. Just load it up onto the brush there. And we're going to come up, and now we're putting in some clouds in our sky. But you'll see, oh, it mixes right together. There we go. Just bring that down, bring it down, and that gives us that dark blue night sky. That's right. There we go. Just using those crisscross strokes, you're just bringing this sky down. Just softening those clouds up. There we go. Now if we want to come back and get a little bit more weight, we may want to knock some of that blue off the brush. Again, we just knock that off down here in our rubbish bin. And let's come back and we'll get some more of that white. There we go. Just come up and find some spots. We'll just put that in and let that blend together. Now we're just going to softly, gently just lift that up, mixing it together. There we go. Now we can even come to that blender brush we've started to use, and this really softened things out. And it's a very light circular motion on here, just lightly bringing that together, and this will mix it so nice. So nice there. There we go. Now you can blend that even more if you want. We're just going to hit it lightly today so we can move on to other things. There we are. There we go. That just gives us some things going on in the clouds up there. And give that brush a wash. Beat the Sauron out of it. Although it's so soft, it's nice and quiet. Oh, there we go. And it's good to be quiet on a night like this. Why is that? Why is that? Oh, because this is a night that has some black riders out. Black riders out looking for hobbits. And we want to put in some dark clouds here. So I'm going to come to some of the ivory black. And we'll come in and just scoop up some of that titanium white. And we just want to put a few gray clouds in here. There we go. Just to mix in with what we've got. Just bring that fan brush and just circle it down. Circle it in. And we'll mix these together as well. There we go. Bring these clouds, just make those circles. There we are. Now let's come, we're just going to come with a 1-inch brush and we'll soften those out. Maybe we go back to that blender brush. It does such a nice job. I don't know why I didn't just pick that up. There we go. Just blend those in. And just make those quick circular motions with that. There we go. And we could spend all night doing that. Maybe even come in and do a very dark side to this cloud. All right. As the clouds get closer to you, they get a little darker. And there we go. We just kind of bring those across in a line there. Just mix those in, bring them out. Then back to our blender brush. And we just give that a light, just very gentle. There we go. And that gives us some clouds in the picture. All right, what a night this is. This is not looking like a fun night to be out for a walk. No, that's for sure. All right, now we want to put in what we have back here. We have some hills, some dark hills back there. So we'll just come in. Let's grab a clean. We're going to grab a clean 2-inch brush here. And we're just going to put some of that ivory black on here. These are far away, not much detail. Not much detail. So this is where the land... We have those rolling hills back here. Just put that in. Some come up a little higher. And if you have to, steady your canvas with a big old hobbit foot. Oh yes, and this goes back this way. We're just pushing that into the canvas, and we're leaving a little separation in some of those areas. So we can come back with our fan brush. Let's clean that brush off. Let's come in. Oh, we've got our clean fan brush here. We're going to come in and we're going to pick up some of that titanium white. And we're just going to come in here. And we're just going to create these areas back here. These will turn into just misty areas that separate the land as that fog and mist comes down over it. There we go. And we're just bending that brush on there. Just creating some things here so it can be a forest or a field. Get a little more on there and come into here. There we go. Now let's soften that out again. We're going to create some of this mist. Just bringing that across the land, and that creates all these things that are happening down here. All these things. Where are our hobbits? Our hobbits who are fleeing. That's right. There we go. And this land is just off in the distance. We're just looking down upon it from a high hilltop. There we go. Knock some of that color off and come back to it. Come back to it. And you see we've created, it almost looks, you're standing up there and it almost looks like the sea that you're looking out over. That's right. That's right. Now let's maybe, we'll come to this skinny palette knife. That's right. Just this real thin blade here. And maybe back here there's a tree that sticks up. And we just put that tree in. And maybe there's another this way. You just put those in. Put some things in there that just stick up a little higher. We're just creating the silhouette. Just off in the distance. Just dropping in some silhouettes here. Just some things going on. And you could sit here and do this all night long. We don't want to do it all night long, but we do want to drop some in so it gives us some interesting things going on back here. And we can put some a little closer. There you go. All right. Well, what do we have? What do we have now? Now that's off in our background. But we want something now a little bit closer here. So we're going to come in. It's still dark. Still dark. Oh. But we do want some land here. So let's just come here. Oh, and we'll drop in, this patch of land. We're up overlooking the area. There we are. Just fill this in here. We'll put some trees and things, but we just want to drop in the grassy area that we're standing on here. There we go. That just gives us that land. We're looking down into the valley. Let's come over that. That's a little bright right there, so. Now, there's going to be some trees here. Let's come back to a fan brush. And these trees are still in the dark and the shadows. So we'll come here and just take the tip of the fan brush, bring it down, come back up, and back and forth, this zigzag pattern. Put that tree in right there. There we go. Let's put some more of those in. Maybe there's one right here. That's right. We get that, and then just with the corner of that fan brush, just back and forth. That's a nice, easy way to drop in a tree, just back and forth, bending the bristles on the fan brush. There we go. Bring it right down. And maybe another one of those. Maybe this one's a little taller. Just give yourself a line to follow. And then back and forth, back and forth. There we are. Now we'll come and then we'll highlight those trees, but right here, hiding amongst the trees, looking down into our valley, what do we have? But we have a black rider. That's right. Sitting on top of his horse. There we go. And these guys, they're dressed all in black. So he's in shadow here. And just bring that down. There we go. And bring our horse. We're just using this palette knife just to drop in that shape. Just to drop in the shape so you know there's a rider here who's on top of his steed. And that steed comes right here. And we don't want to make him too skinny. That ring wraith. Oh, the terrible ring wraith. And oh, his horse. Just using that palette knife. Just dropping the shape. There we go. This is a little more detail than I usually do. But every now and then it's fun to do that. Every now and then it's fun to do that. And we're just putting that silhouette there. There we go. And then just fill it in. If there's a little bit of blue in there, that's fine. That's just the light. That's just the light catching that horse. Oh, that horse. Oh, that black horse. And his legs come down. There we go. And you just put his body in there. There we go, just the shape of a horse. I'm no expert on this. You know that. You know old Timbo is no expert. But we just put that in there. There we are. Oh, and his robe is hanging down. Oh, and that horse's ears are perked up there. There we go. There we are. We have that black rider searching for our hobbits. Oh, that foe. That evil foe, my grand gaffer Gamgee. He talked about what a fright those black riders gave them. What a fright. There we go. And he's looking down in that valley to see if he sees anything that moves. Oh, I would not want to be out on that night. No, no, you know the tales. You know the tales. All right, let's come back. Let's come back, and we're going to give a highlight to these trees, which is the pale moonlight. Just come in and just... This is just the light of that moon catching these trees. There we go. And it catches more at the top than it does down below. Just with that corner of the brush. Just pick up some of those branches. There we are. Maybe put a touch of green, touch of that sap green in there. As it picks up some of the color that's in that tree. There we go. There we are. Now. Oh, maybe there's another tree here. Just going to come to our palette knife, and this isn't one of those evergreen trees. We'll just put this right down here. It's partially concealing this black rider. That's right, just bring that right across, right up this way. Maybe it has a few branches there. Maybe one coming off this way. Just drop that in. There we are. And let's come give a little bit of color on that. A little bit of color so it stands out from that black rider. There we go. Just pull that right across. And that just pushes him into the back. And just put some highlights there. There we go. There we go. Right down at the bottom. Now let's come and let's get a dark color. We're just using a 1-inch brush. We've given it a trim. It just gives us some round things there. And we're just going to drop in. Just drop that in. Just push it right onto the canvas. And your trunk is going to be partially hidden by some of those. That's right. And we just put those in there. There we are. Now let's give those a highlight. Just what we'll do. So we're going to come in to our sap green here. Maybe in some of this lighter green back here. We get a little bit of paint thinner because we know we want it to stick a little better. Just lighten that up. There we go. And then just come back here and we'll tap in some color. Not super bright because this is a nighttime painting. But you see that just gives us, that just fills in some color on that tree. And you don't cover totally the darks there. But now we want to come, maybe we give some highlights. That give a little color of the sky reflected in there. There we go. We've got some titanium white and some of the blue. Just where that moonlight that's coming through the clouds. There we go. There we go. Now maybe we have some bushes down here. Maybe our black rider snuck through these bushes here. Just fill that up. And again, we're going to come back to that green, that dark green. We'll drop some of that onto our bushes and then we'll highlight those as well. So we put some here. And let's come with some yellow. A little yellow in those bushes. Just drop that in. They're picking up a bit of that moonlight as well. There we are. And maybe we have some trees over here as well. Let's go back to some of those evergreen trees. We'll pick this up, our fan brush. And right here, let's drop one. And then just back and forth. He comes right down here. There we go. And let's give him a friend too. Maybe he comes right here. There we go. Now we can lighten him up with some highlights. Oh, and this is a nice dark nighttime painting Oh, let's come to some of this grayish color here. We'll just highlight with that. There we go. Come to this one. And then take a little bit of our green, just so some of that color from the tree is peeking through. Right down at the bottom. There we go. Now we can put in some bushes and grass and things here. And we're just flicking that up. Taking that fan brush and just creating these things down here. There we are. Now our black rider. We can come to some of our titanium white as well. And we can give some highlights on here. Just on the top there. And we just want where the moonlight would be touching the horse, touching his robe. There we go. That way it's not just the shadow, just the silhouette. There we are. Maybe grab this edge right under here. There we go. There we have our black rider looking out over the Hobbit. Oh, and that foggy night. Not a good night to be out for a walk. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's painting. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a good week and God bless.